And whenever you're...
Okay.
Is Alex Waller
Councillor Gavashak, we're actually live streaming now.
I was just asking whether Alex Waller is has got a picture on the screen. That's all. It looks like a member of the committee.
No, he's got pictures.
So I have,
yeah.
but
okay. Thank you, Councillor Gavashak.
So
thank you.
Part of my setup with Zoom.
Okay, that's okay. If you just Right. Good evening, councillors. Good evening, officers. Thank you for coming to the planning meeting this evening, this day, January the 12th. Let's start with the first item, which is apologies for absence. Do we have any?
I'm subbing for Lawrence Plant. Okay,
thank you, Councillor Hamilton. Thank you, that's noted. Next we have for number 3, which is minutes. This was from the last meeting held on the 15th of December.
Madam Chair, you've missed out an item.
Oh, beg your pardon. Declarations of interest, number 2. Any? Councillor Gavashak, thank you.
Forgive me, Chair. I wonder if the minutes could actually reflect what I'm about to say. That I am declaring a disclosable pecuniary interest in the amended plans for Pantars, which is my partner's house. And just to actually say that this advice has been given to me all along throughout the whole of this process by the SODC monitoring officer and also Henley's town clerk. So that is why I am declaring a disclosable pecuniary interest. I will take no part in the debate, no part in the discussion, and I will leave the meeting when this item is discussed. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Hamilton.
Yeah, item 6. I am a member of Phyllis Court, so I'll do the right thing. I'll declare a pecuniary interest and I'll leave the room for that point.
Great, thank you.
I'm only a member.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you. So we come up to, again, item 3 of the agenda, minutes of the last meeting held on the 15th of December. Do I have a proposer for acceptance? Yes, Councillor Gavashak, thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Arlett, thank you. All those in favour? That's carried, thank you. Okay, public participation, item number 4. If I could first please call Anna King.
Hi there.
Hello, Anna King. Hello, thank you for joining us. If you could just, before you speak, you have 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. If you could just please inform the committee which planning application you're speaking to, and then whenever you're ready.
Hi, yes. It's just really to just share some of our concerns about the development of Premier Inn Hotel at the train station car park. I don't have a planning number for it because I understand it's not gone to planning yet.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Yeah, so really I'm sort of expressing my concerns as a resident of Henley, but also as a resident of Windale Close, which is the neighbouring road to the development. So some of my concerns are general as a Henley resident, but some are more specific. So just generally, I guess my main concern is really the design of the proposed hotel. It's really, really worrying that will become the first thing that anybody, whether it be a resident or a visitor to the town, will see as they arrive to at our station. And it just surprises me just how not in keeping it is with our town, our historic market town, and it will remain an eyesore for decades to come should it go ahead. I just don't feel like any effort has been made on the part of the developers to adapt their design to the local surroundings. It's almost like they've just sort of dumped their motorway service station blueprint on our town. So yeah, the appearance really is questionable in my view. I'd also like to question the number of rooms and the need for the number of rooms that they have suggested of 115, and therefore the subsequent height that they've requested of 5 stories. I mean, it will become one of the tallest buildings in Henley, and it will materially alter our skyline for the worse, and that's quite a scary thought. I imagine that many of the arguments that we put forward against the Hallmark House extension upwards would probably be applicable here as well. And obviously I won't go into those in detail, time doesn't really allow it. I'd also question really how necessary it is to have 115 bedrooms when, you know, we've got this wonderful news about the Red Lion being refurbished. We've got lots of Airbnb options. There's less business travel likely to happen with COVID and the after effects of COVID. And really that is something that the Premier Inn caters for, those sort of business travellers. Just lastly, as a sort of general point about Henley, we were really surprised about the results of the Network Rail's car park studies that were conducted some time ago now. I see this car park every single day out of my window, and for years it's pretty much full or near full capacity. And even now during COVID, it's at weekends, it's really, really busy. And I just fear that those cars will go to our already, those cars that can't park there will go to already overstretched car parks. Just in terms of the effect it will have on Windale Close, and looking at their detailed plans. Yeah.
Can I just make you aware that you're at 3 minutes now?
Okay, just briefly, sorry.
Just quickly.
Yeah, okay. Just the height is really going to obstruct our views. I know I have some of my fellow neighbours about to talk as well, so I'll let them explain more of the issues that we're worried about with regards to privacy, being overlooked, and the noise and smells that will be coming from the development. Okay, I'll leave it there. Apologies, I've overrun, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for attending. Okay, next we have Lucy Hamilton. Lucy Hamilton. No, okay. So we've got Valerie Friend. Valerie Friend? No, okay. We'll come to Vivian Guys.
Yes, hello, that's me, Vivian Guys.
Hello.
So, hello, I'm a resident of Windale Close, and I'm echoing what Anna King just put forward. So what I'd like to stress more specifically is that we feel that the building is totally out of character and proportion for the site and location. With its 5-story elevation, it draws the surrounding buildings and destroys the view from all around this part of town. The second point I'd like to make is that as our garden backs on the car park of the station, and the hotel would totally transform and dominate the view from our house and garden. That's true for every resident in Windale Close. The hotel would deprive us of light in the day, as it would introduce a 5-story elevation at close proximity directly to our east. We would be directly overlooked by a large number of hotel windows and thereby have our privacy invaded. Currently, we are not overlooked at all. We feel that the building would create light pollution at night from the large bank of windows at its rear and potentially illuminated branded signage. We feel that the new activity in and around the building, as well as the building services, such as air conditioning, would create noise pollution day and night and would ruin what is currently a very peaceful area to live in. And finally, the kitchen extractors, which we've identified on the building plan, would produce kitchen smells at close proximity to our residents. For all these reasons, we are very, very concerned and against this new project.
Okay, thank you. Right, shall we, Mr. Weller, you're not registered, but you're welcome to speak.
Hi there. Yes, sorry, I was rather late responding back. So, I mean, really, it was around the development of the car park again with the Premier Inn. So I'm not quite sure. I won't repeat the points. Actually, for what Anna and Vivian have both said, I would almost echo all of those points, really. So rather than to sort of waste more of your time, it's just highlighting the height of the hotel and the style of the hotel seem to be just blisteringly out of kilter with Henley and the town. So really just, again, completely in opposition to the hotel, but very specifically around the height, which I think is incredibly high. And the style of the hotel, and I think that's driven around the 115, the need for the 115 rooms in it. So I won't reiterate everything they've said. Really, I'll keep it short. But it was to really echo what both Anna and Vivian have already said in opposition to it. Certainly in height and style. The rest of it, I don't, I can't kind of comment on the need for parking and the need for those amount of rooms, really. But certainly I would echo that we're in Station House, so we're on the house on the very end, overlooking what was that the station master had walked out to onto the many years, 100 years ago. And certainly the car park is busy all week round, certainly from that part, and very busy at the weekend. So I assume that if it was developed there, everyone would be pushed further down around the corner along the parking further down, which I've no idea what that is because I can't see that. But anyway, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you. Can you just stay on for a bit with us, just in case councillors have any questions for any of you? Shall we just try these two again? We've got Lucy Hamilton or Vivian Guys. No.
Sorry. What was the question?
Oh, have you spoken? Have you already?
I have, yes, Vivian Guys.
Yeah, there's one person down here that I can't seem to get hold of. I think we'll just have to move on. Councillors, have you got any questions? No. Yes, Councillor Hamilton.
Not really a question. It's just really to thank the residents of Windale Close who have come and spoken to us and ask them to ensure that they put their points to us and to the website and also to the SODC website when the planning application comes to us. We'll obviously listen to them. I think they've been very eloquent in the points they put forward. There's some many worthy points there, and what we need to do is make sure that we make it happen.
Thank you, Councillor Hamilton. Yeah, thank you. All right, so thank you very much for your participation. We'll now be moving on out of public participation and moving on to plans. So if councillors could please turn to pages 11 to 12 of their agendas. Councillors, as with all applications, I'll be asking if our planning officer has any observations for us. Okay, so moving on to plans amended, we have P20 S1565 Householder 51 Upton Close. Jodie.
Thank you. So as you will have noted, this scheme has been amended a number of times now. This time we're considering the amendment to the changes of levels and the introduction of boundary hedging to the garden of flat 1. Although the hedging will help to screen that from the east, I think your previous concerns would still stand.
Sorry, I think I've got the wrong. Okay, sorry, I've got my plans mixed up here. Okay, sorry, it was, were you speaking to 18 Harcourt Close there? Yeah, sorry. Sorry, yep. Councillors. I have actually found this new format a little bit, because it's separate. I've really got to look out for that. Okay, right. Councillors, do I have any proposals, please? Yes, Councillor Gavishak.
Can I propose, councillors, that we reiterate all of our comments that we've said in the past. This is a gross overdevelopment of the site, and there are many concerns with all. So a straightforward repeat as a recommendation for refusal. Thank you. Okay,
thank you. Is that seconded? Yes, Councillor Romans, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No. Okay, let's move this to the vote then. And the motion is for refusal. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried unanimously. Okay, next we have P20 S2809. It's a householder application, and if it's okay with you councillors, I'll actually take it with the listed building application, which is over the page. It's for 11 Thameside. Do I have any proposals? No, let's hear from Jodie first, please.
Just a quick comment. The amended plans show a reduced size of the rear extension and provide some additional information. However, it's not been reduced that much, and I still think your comments previously would still stand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, proposal, Councillor Hamilton.
Yeah, proposed refusal. I note the comments from the next door neighbours, and I'll restate what the committee has already said on the 1st of the 9th, 2020, as it were. It has been reduced, but it's still a listed building, and so that's my proposal.
Okay, thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Eggleton, are you seconding? Yes, thank you. Right, would any other councillor like to speak to this application before I put this to the vote? No? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. The motion is for refusal. All those in favour? Okay, that's carried unanimously. Many thanks. Okay, over the page to page 12. And we've got P20 S3919, listed building, and it's for Henley Bridge. Jodie.
Thank you. So the amended plans have provided more information clarifying the depth of the proposed cabling and the location of the trail holes. So long as the conservation officer is now happy, I don't have any concerns with this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right, any proposals? Councillor Gavishak.
Yes, I think we're in a position now where we can change our refusal. We refused last time because there was insufficient information. As Jodie has said, we have the assurance that the conservation officer is involved. This is a listed grade 1 listed structure, so therefore I'm sure it will be watched over very carefully. So I propose acceptance of this, subject to what Jodie said, the conservation officer. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Eggleton, you seconding?
Yeah.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. The motion is for approval, subject to the conservationer overseeing this, these plans. All those in favour? Right, so we've got one, two, 3, 4. All those against? No, we've got 5. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. I couldn't see your hand, Councillor Oman, sorry. Hold that up a bit higher. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Right, so let's move on to the next one, which is pan tiles.
Chair.
Yes.
Can I, I'm going to leave the meeting now, take no part in the discussion. Could that be limited that I left at this particular time? Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. So the next one is P20 S4111, householder applications, Pantiles, Elizabeth Road. And just to be consistent, I'm going to make a proposal from the chair. Due to the association of members with the applicant, it can be assumed that a member of the public in knowledge of the full facts would reasonably believe that members would be unable to come to an objective decision. It should also be considered that regardless of any observations made by the members of this committee, the application will be decided by the planning committee of the local authority. Therefore, I propose that this committee resolve to make no representation on this application. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Arlett, thank you. All those in favour?
I'd like to speak to that item, please.
No, I'm putting it to the vote. Thank you.
I'd like to speak to the item.
I'm not allowing you to speak to the item. We already discussed it last time. Thank you.
It should be debated on the grounds that refusal may be considered.
All those in favour, please raise your hands. All those against? Okay, thank you. That's carried. Go and make your observations known with the planning authority, Councillor Hamilton. Okay, let's move on. Can we will somebody let Sir Councillor Gavishak know that we've concluded this item? Okay, thank you. Right, so the next item is P20 S4229, householder application, and it's for 146 Reading Road. Jodie.
So you previously recommended approval. I would have thought that would still stand. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a proposer?
I propose no objection, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Romans, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak to this application, 146 Reading Road? No. Okay, so the motion is for approval. All those in favour? All those against? All those abstaining? Okay, it's that's carried. Thank you. Yes, Jodie.
Yeah, can I just point out that this first one on the next plan's new? We've already provided a comment for that, so you can move on.
Yes, I had noted that one.
Yeah, apologies for that.
No, that's okay. Okay, so next on the agenda, we've got item number 6, which is plans new. And we've got P20 S4411, and it's a householder application. Jodie.
Thank you. So I've got some concerns over the scale of the proposed carport, which is forward of the front elevation. However, there is hedging along the boundary with the neighbours to the north, which should limit any adverse impact. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, have we actually invited Councillor Gavishak back into the meeting yet? Can we confirm?
Told him the item's been dealt with. But I imagine he's coming back in.
All right, thank you. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Yes, do you have any proposals for this application, please, councillors? Yes, Councillor Arlott.
Yeah, I'm going to propose objection to this, Chairman. For the carport. In the past, there's a couple of doors away to the left-hand side of the application. A few years back, there was an application for a garage which got turned down, and this is very similar to that. So I'm going to propose that it would be out of character with that part of the road.
Okay.
So I propose refusal.
Okay, but do we have a seconder? Councillor Eggleton, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. Councillor Gavishak, we're on 275 Grays Road, but I don't think you've actually heard.
I haven't, so I won't vote. Thank you,
Okay,
Chair.
thank you. Okay, so all those, can I put this to the vote then if no other councillor would like to speak to the item? Okay. All those in favour of refusal? That's carried, thank you. Councillors, the next 2 items I'm going to take together, if that's okay. The first one is P20 S4441, full application, and the next one is P20 S4442, which is listed building consent. This is 2 to 4 Reading Road, and if you note as well that there is an advertising application as well on the next page, so I'll take all of those 3 together if that's okay. Jodie.
So this is proposed hand-painted signage. They're proposing like-for-like door furniture. The colours are similar to those existing and are considered to be complementary with the materials and in keeping with the building. I consider this to comply with the SODC shopfront design guide. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, any? Yes, Councillor Crook.
Yeah, I propose acceptance, and I just wish more shops would take a leaf out of this company because it's really good. So I'm all for it. Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hamilton, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, so the motion is for approval for all 3 applications. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. And the next item on our agenda is P20 S4523. It's a householder application. Jodie.
So this application,
47 Harpston Road.
Yeah, so this application is proposing 2 dormer windows at the rear of the building. It is within the conservation area and can be seen from Boston Road. Although the dormers are of traditional design with matching materials, it could still adversely impact on the conservation area.
Thank you. Councillors, any proposals? No, we've got no proposals. Yes,
Yeah.
Councillor Arlott.
Yeah, I hear what the plan officer said, but I'm going to vote for approval on this because obviously they're at the rear of the building.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Gavashak, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, so the motion is for approval. All those in favour? All those against? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. So moving on to the next one on our application, which is P20 S4537. It's a householder application and it's for 14 Rupert's Lane. Jodie.
Thank you. So this is for the side and rear single storey and part 2-storey extension. This would fill the gap between the existing extension and the boundary. But I do know that it's located away from the neighbouring properties, so shouldn't impact on their amenity. So I have no overriding concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, do we have any proposals? Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
Well, yes, I've looked at the plans in the light of Jodie's comments, so I propose acceptance. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder? Yes, Councillor Crook. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. The motion is for approval. Please raise your hands. For and against. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. And the next item on our agenda is P20 S4613. It's a householder application for 11 St Mark's Road. Jodie.
Thanks. So this is located within St Mark's conservation area. There's a duty to have regard to the desirability of preserving or enhancing its historic character, but these proposals are to the rear. There are also dormer windows proposed. Consider there shouldn't be an overly adverse impact on the historic interest of the wider conservation area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, any proposals? Councillor Gavashak.
Yeah, I looked at this application with some interest, and I propose acceptance of it. Thank you.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Romans, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, so the motion is for approval. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you, it's carried. And the next item is P20 S4619. It's a householder application and it's 40 Blandy Road. Jodie.
I didn't have any concerns with this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, any proposals? Councillor Clark. Would you but mind taking yourself off mute? There you are. Thank you, Councillor Clark. Go ahead. Whenever you're ready.
I recommend approval, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Romans, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried.
Madam Chair, I'm now leaving the meeting as per my declaration of interest.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Councillor Hamilton, if you're still there, we've actually got the wall garden next. So we've got P20 S4665 and it's a full application, Jodie.
So this application is to replace the existing dwelling with a single storey dwelling on a larger footprint. the principle of residential development is acceptable. However, I note that there are protected trees on this site. So as long as the countryside officer is happy with the tree survey and impact report that's been submitted, then I don't have any concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jodie. Councillors, do we have any proposals? Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
Well, I think Jodie said it all. I propose acceptance, subject to that the trees are not impacted and the forestry officer is fully consulted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that is a proposal for approval with those conditions. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Romans, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. So this is approval, subject to those conditions. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you, that's carried. The next two I will actually take together. We've got P20 S4674 full and P20 S4676 listed building. Phileas Court Club. Jodie?
So this is a grade 2 listed building within a prominent location in the conservation area. I do note that there's no arboricultural information being submitted and there's a holding objection from the forestry officer. But subject to receiving that, I wouldn't have any concerns with this. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any proposals? Yes, Councillor Arlott.
Yes, Chairman, I've looked at the plans and I think it's very sympathetic with the building, and what with COVID still in the air, I'd like to support the application.
Thank you. Is that seconded, Councillor Gavashak? Okay,
Yes, I think so, we just need to say subject to what Jodie has said, the arboricultural report when it comes in. Thank you.
Are you happy with that, Councillor Arlott?
Yeah, fine with me, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, councillors, would any of you other councillor like to speak to this before we put this to the vote? No. Okay, let's put this to the vote then. And the motion is for approval, subject to the forestry officer. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. Okay, next is P20 S4679. It's a householder application, 178 Fairmile. Jodie.
Chairman, I'm quite happy for Councillor Hamilton to stay away, but if anybody would like to call him back.
Councillor Clark, are you able to do that for us?
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Ken, was that motion?
Well, gosh, I didn't mean that.
You need a seconder.
Right, sorry, I've completely lost track where we are now. No, sorry, let's just start this again.
Fairmile.
We've got 178 Fairmile. Jodie.
17B.
Thank you. Yeah, so this was in the main conservation area. The front boundary wall is listed, but the house isn't. They're proposing a large rear extension, which is almost the same footprint of what's existing. However, I note that there's no objections from the conservation officer. It looks largely in keeping with the existing building, and there's enough distance between that and the neighbouring properties in terms of their amenity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hamilton, if you didn't hear, Councillors Clark and Hamilton, if you didn't hear any of that, you're very welcome not to make any comment at all. Okay, any proposals? Yes, Councillor Crook.
I propose acceptance.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Thank you. Councillor Gavashak. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, let's put this to the vote then. The motion is for approval. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you unanimously. Okay, so the next one we've actually already addressed over the other page. That was for 2 to 4 Reading Road, so we can ignore that one. The next two are, again, I'll take together. We've got P20 S4594 householder application and P20 S4696 listed building consent, and it's for 86 West Street. Jodie.
So this is a proposal for a listed building that's modest, brick-built house. I've got concerns over the proposed materials, which are mainly glass and timber cladding, and not in keeping with the building and surrounding area. I note that there's neighbouring properties having concerns over the proposal to part demolish the rear brick and front wall, so an access can be created, but there's no details as part of this application, and there's no response from the Conservation Officer yet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Crook, you had your hand up first.
Yeah, I'm concerned about losing the brick and flint wall because it's part of our heritage and we need to retain this because else it's going to be lost. So I'm recommending refusal.
Okay, planning reasons?
Out of character.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Councillor Hamilton, you seconding?
I'll second that. It's unneighbourly, and I'm also concerned. I've read the residents next to, is it? I've read their points regarding the pathway. So on that basis, I recommend.
You're seconding, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak before I put this motion to the vote? Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
I think we should just have an additional rider that we would encourage the Conservation Officer to get involved in this. I think that should go in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Would any other councillor like to speak before I put this to the vote? No. Okay, then the motion is for refusal. All those in favour? All those against? And Councillor Rowley is abstaining.
Doesn't have a view.
Okay, thank you. That's carried. So we move on to the next one, which is P20 S4697, and it's a householder application. It's for Hillcrest View, Harpston Way. Jodie.
So this proposal has been through pre-application process. The planning officer stated that they had considered the proposal and viewed it favourably with regards to what was submitted, but they would work with them in terms of what the materials would be over the course of the application. They did have concerns over a proposed pavilion building, but they've been addressed through this application, so I don't have concerns for this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Crook.
Yeah, I've just got some concerns because it's been extended several times, this, and it's almost like a whole new house that they're attaching to the house, like with the new kitchen and everything. So even though it's a very large house, it's going to be...
Do you mean it's a very large plot?
Yeah, very large plot. They're going to be adding almost another house, well, wing thing. Well, I'm not getting my words out correct, but it's just very large, and I'm just concerned that it's just setting a precedent for everything else. So I'm recommending refusal. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Is that seconded? No. Okay. So we must have another out there. Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
Well, I take Councillor Crook's comments on board that we should always look very carefully at these large extensions that there are. But it's a big house. It's on a big plot, and as Jodie has said, it's been through pre-planning, and the planning officer at SODC are in conversation with the applicant. So therefore, I propose acceptance of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Eggleton, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak before we put this motion to the vote? No? Okay, all those in favour of acceptance? All those against? Thank you, that's carried. Okay, next we have P20S4. Sorry, councillors, can I just ask you, can you hear any background noise coming from my house?
No.
Is it a cat?
No.
It's your children. They're
no, it's a child, yeah. No, as long as you can't, I can, but as long as you can't. Okay, all right, thank you. Thanks for that.
You're doing well.
P20 S4713 listed building consent for Lavender House, 40 New Street. Jodie.
I haven't got concerns, subject to the satisfaction of the Conservation Officer at SODC. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, any proposals? Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
I took a great deal of pleasure in looking at this application. I thought it was an absolute joy with the materials that they're replacing stuff with. So I wholeheartedly approve this. Proposal for approval, subject to what Jodie has said, the Conservation Officer being involved. But I think it's a great application. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Crook, thank you. Any other councillor like to speak? Okay, all those in favour of approval? Okay, thank you. That's carried unanimously. And over the page now, page 15, we've got P20 S4765 householder application, and it's 23 Makins Road. Jodie.
So I do have some concerns over the scale and massing of what's proposed. They're looking at really making a single story into a two-story house, really. I do note, however, that there's a similar property to the north, which is also rendered. So I just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, yes, Councillor Arlott.
Yeah, if the one next door hadn't have been carried out, I would have voted against this. The one next door came up a few months ago, and we did object to it, and they lowered the roof to suit. So we've obviously set, well, we haven't, but someone set a precedent there. And I think it'd be a waste of time proposing refusal because we wouldn't win that. So I'll propose approval.
Do I have a second? Do I have a consent? Yes, Councillor Clark, you seconding?
Yes, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Yes, Councillor Eggleton.
If it's based on which Councillor Arlott's just mentioned, if it's based on the facts the other person lowered their roof, if it was in keeping with the existing one there, then I would be in favour of voting for it.
Councillor Arlott, did you want to say anything to that?
It's fine. It's okay. It's fine.
No. Okay. All right. Let's put this to the vote then, councillors. So the motion is for approval. It's been seconded. All those in favour? All those against? Okay. Thank you. That's carried. Okay, let's move on to the next one, which is P20 S4775, and it's a householder application, 58 West Street. Jodie.
I don't have any objections to this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors? Yes, Councillor Gavashak.
Just propose acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Clark, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, let's put this to the vote then, and it's for approval. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. And the next one, I wasn't sure. Jodie, is this a duplicate?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
yes.
Sorry.
Okay,
yeah, thanks.
Fine. All right, so we've already covered that one, councillors. Thank you. Right, so that concludes that part of the agenda. So let's move on to item 7, which is objections and call-in applications. Do I have any proposals? Councillor Crook.
The one at West Street. God, I can't remember now.
Yes, I know which one you mean. Yeah.
That one. 86. Yes. 86.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Gavashak, all those in favour? All those against? Okay, thank you, that's carried. Councillor Gavashak, did you have another one?
Yeah, I think it's probably already been called in, just to make sure. 18 Harcourt Close.
Yeah,
Councillor Arlott.
That's been called in.
Thank you. Okay. That's all, thank you.
Right, thank you. Any others? No, right, let's move on then to item 8, which is just to note the decision notices on pages 17 to 18. Okay, thank you. And the next one is number 9, which is withdrawn applications. Just to note those withdrawn applications.
I haven't got that.
Okay, thank you. Right, so let's move on to the next part, which is number 10. Consultation for crossings on Marlow Road and Gravel Hill. Now, sorry, Councillor Hamilton, is it okay if I actually ask the deputy?
I think I had my hand up first, didn't I?
Sorry.
The chair can do what she wants.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to call on Kath Adams, the deputy clerk, who is the author of the report, then Councillor Gavishak, who is our Oxfordshire County Councillor, and then you'd be most welcome to speak.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a very straightforward report. I think this is following on from funds for traffic schemes within Henley that went through committee originally back in August 2018. This particular one is for the consultation fees for the crossing on the Marlow Road and crossing on Gravel Hill. Since the funds were approved back in August 2018, OCC have increased the fees for consultations, and despite asking them whether they'd reduce them, seeing as we'd approved the monies so long ago, they've said that they will neither reduce them for us because those are their fees now, and that there's no alternative except for them to carry out the consultation because they're the Highways Authority, so they need to undertake the consultation for us. We do have funds available from SIL. Planning Committee has monies for transport projects set aside, and the accountant has confirmed the figures in the report. So my suggestion was that these additional monies are taken from the funds available for Planning Committee to approve that we have available transport projects.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gavishak, please.
Thank you, Chair, for that. As Catherine said, it's a very straightforward report. This is, we don't like the additional money, but it's the county council that have actually put up the fees, so therefore it's that. You've got to bear in mind that this is £2,000 for the consultation of 2 crossings. It's for the consultation of Gravel Hill and also Swiss Farm as well on the Marlow Road. We have always, well, almost unanimously supported crossings, and I really want this to go forward. In terms of the Gravel Hill, I already said that the Oxfordshire have already made the commitment that they will be paying for the Gravel Hill crossing, and that could come if it's based on Grays Road crossings, £30,000 plus. So therefore, this is seriously a good deal. We are paying £2,000 for 2 lots of consultations, and OCC are going to pay for one of the crossings. So it's good news. So I would like to recommend 4.1 that we approve the allocation of the 2080 for the public consultations across the Marlow Road, Gravel Hill, and this will be taken from still funds set aside for the Planning Committee for transport projects. And it's just another good project coming off for Henley.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Arlett. Yes, Councillor Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm in favour of crossings, but I have to ask through the chair a question of Councillor Gavishak again. Could he tell me, please, how many crossings, zebra crossings, have been built in Oxfordshire in the last 4 years that have been either partly funded or wholly funded by OCC? And I'm not talking about SIL money. That's the first point. Could he also tell me whether there is an admin or a handling fee?
So, Chairman, can you stop him shouting, please?
No, we're not deaf.
Can you stop shouting, Councillor Hamilton?
I'm not shouting.
Well, you were.
Well, turn your volume down. Could I also ask him to whether he could tell us what the admin fee is on this? And can I ask him where his personal contribution from his personal fund has gone, because this is something clearly that could come out of that rather than coming out of SIL. I keep asking this question about who funds and who doesn't. He's now saying one.
So, Councillor Hamilton, can you please give Councillor Gavashak a chance to answer your questions?
Yeah. He's now saying one crossing will be built by OCC, not both. Why does it keep changing? No,
you reserve your right.
No, I'll answer the questions.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Councillor Hamilton has said them all. Right. The first thing, it's not true that Councillor Hamilton is in favour of crossings, because he wrote an objection against this committee's recommendation for the Grays Road crossing to OCC. So it's not true.
Well, let's just keep to the agenda. Let's just stick to
no, I am
talking about this evening.
Sorry, I am answering the questions that Councillor Hamilton has said. With regard to the funding of crossings in Oxfordshire, I've already answered them. If Councillor Hamilton wants to issue a freedom of information request, he's welcome to do that. As far as the admin fee is concerned, I haven't got a clue, but we do know that the figure is £2,080 for the consultation of 2 crossings. And I am really, really pleased that we have brought the public consultation for these 2 crossings to the Town Council. As far as his last comment, I have never said that OCC would be funding both of the crossings. I've been absolutely clear and honest. They will be funding the Gravel Hill. Councillor Hamilton, you may well shake your head, but I have never said that they would be funding the Swiss Farm crossing. Never, ever. So don't shake your head. I'm an honest person and I talk straight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, councillors, any other questions or comments or statements before we put this to the vote?
I'd just like to speak as a seconder.
Yeah, sure. Councillor
Yeah, actually, Councillor Gavashak answered the question for me. I did have a job to hear Councillor Hamilton because he was shouting so loud, but it is a fact that he voted against the one up at Grays Road, and that is a fact. Look, we've got all this SIL money and we're told to do something with it. If we hang on to SIL money too long, SODC will take it back. You know, we're here to make decisions. We're here to implement items, and these are 2 absolutely brilliant ones. They've been on the back burner far too long because we didn't have a Councillor Gavashak as our county councillor before. So I think we should wholly support doing good things for this town, and this is definitely 2 of them.
Okay, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak briefly? Okay, let's put this to the vote then. The motion is for 4.1, is the recommendation that the committee resolved to approve. All those in favour? All those against?
Could we have votes against as well, please, on this, Chair?
I just said that, didn't I? Who's voting against?
And abstentions?
You're not chairing this, Councillor Gavashak.
You're right, I'm not. I apologise.
Well, the motion's carried anyway. All right, so thank you. It's carried.
For the record, for Councillor Gavashak, I voted for it. So there you have it.
Right, deep breaths, everybody. Right, so the next item on our agenda is number 11, and it's the station car park hotel. It's the Premier Inn Hotel proposal, and we all know this, but let's just remind ourselves that there's no application for planning been submitted yet. Okay, so this is a decision whether we actually want to make any comments to this consultation. The deadline was extended especially for us. So I personally think from the chair that this would be a good idea to actually submit a full response. Who would like to speak first? Yes, Councillor Crook, you had your hand up first, I believe.
Oh God, I've lost my notes now. Hang on, someone else go and then come back to me because I can't find my notes. Sorry. Come back. Oh, I can speak now. I'm just concerned about the fact how Premier Inn operate, and the fact is that they will have to ship in everything provided for the hotel. They don't have anything local, which will increase HGVs. It will have a severe effect on our hospitality trade and could result in some businesses closing. And also that they're only going to really, and I myself as a cleaner, so I'm not speaking down to cleaner, it will only provide like mainly cleaning jobs at minimum wage. They can say living wage, but I'm telling you, £8.50 or whatever it is not a living wage. You know, so it's not going to provide fantastic jobs for people in the town. You know, you could get jobs housekeeping for much better pay. You know, we don't need 3 stories. And I just think they're just doing it for the shareholders. And I'm sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Crook. Councillor Gavashak.
I'll be very brief and in summary. I think this could be actually good for the Henley economy. So therefore, I am going to sort of speak in favour of it. But we have previously talked about there must be sufficient car parking. This is a 115-bed hotel. So therefore, there's got to be at least 115 car parking spaces and no loss of car parking in the station car park. The height of the hotel is of concern, and also the light pollution going into the houses on Windale Close. So therefore, there are some design features that we really have to get right on this. But those would be my comments for concern. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll have Councillor Hamilton and then Councillor Romans.
Thank you. I too have the same concerns. I would like Jodie to put together a paper on this that can be distributed to all councillors before it goes in. The concerns I have is obviously to limit the size of the height of the building to 3 stories. If they need a 4-story, they should go down into the basement for 1 story. I believe they should do car parking underneath. I believe we need to have proper waste management, a skip or whatever that regularly gets picked up and taken away in accordance with the health and safety guideline. I believe we've got to seriously look at the design. I think it should be brick and flint, and it shouldn't be. It should have some beauty to it rather than being just bland. I think that the boiler and the air conditioning need to be put in the basement and not on the roof. I think that we should ask them to do greening as Braemont have done with their car park, which is absolutely outstanding. And I believe also we should ask them to build a bridge over the railway line into the River and Road Museum / Mill Meadows. I think that would be something that Network Rail could do at the same time, and it's something that's been long overdue. I'm concerned specifically for the residents of Windale Close. I will ask that the designers look at lowering it, moving it away from the Windale Close area and moving it more central if they can, flatter, longer, rather than more tubby, as it were. And I'd also ask that we look to ways to mitigate the car parking and limit any increases in the car parking. If the number of spaces goes down and there is demand for those spaces, the price will go up. And we need to make sure that commuters have somewhere to park rather than drive to Twyford or Shiplake, because obviously that's just putting more pressure on our traffic network. So if Jodie could take all those points, I'd be really grateful. And if we could see the paper before it goes off, I'd be absolutely happy. Thank you very much.
Councillor Romans.
Okay, thank you. So firstly, I echo the sentiment expressed by fellow councillors and also the residents who've spoken tonight. Secondly, I mean, if we're going to be looking at having additional hotels in Henley, then why not utilise existing and underused capacity? And by that, I mean the Imperial Hotel, because that building has been stood vacant for at least 10 years now, to the best of my knowledge. So why don't, if we are going to explore these schemes, look at spaces like this first? The Imperial Hotel has 20 rooms.
And they've got, and they've got 19 in Marlow.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, why not try and fill the existing hotel capacity first before we start looking at other schemes? I am against the Premier Inn scheme, and as I say, I think there is a more efficient and effective way of using capacity in the town, but these ideas need to be explored.
Councillor Eggleton, we just need to be mindful that we're going over time now.
Yeah.
So if we could make it brief, I'm sorry to try and cut down any observations. Yes, Councillor Eggleton.
I understand. Most of the comments have been covered by Romans and Councillor Crook and Will Hamilton. The thing is, we have got local businesses. We have got people that do Airbnb and all those sort of things. I don't think you got any hope in hell of actually getting anybody to reopen the Imperial Hotel. I was told that it's going to be left to a certain period of time, and once it's left for a certain period of time, they can do anything they want with it. So I don't think that's ever going to open as a hotel ever again. It's a shame because it is a nice character building and it would be brilliant right there by that station, which would solve some of the issues. I also agree with a lot of the residents in the surrounding area and loss of car parking and all the other aspects of it. I think I'm not in favour of this. I think it's unsightly. If it was done on a smaller scale with all those the green walling and everything else that was incorporated in it, and there wasn't an impact on the town and an impact on the residents that live in the area, I would then be for it.
Okay, thank you. So, Councillor Arlett, quickly, because what I want to do is I just want to put Councillor Hamilton's proposal to you, and then we'll move on to the next item. Yes, Councillor Arlett.
Just briefly, Chairman, I think the three speakers basically said what we said in the pre-meeting that we had. I also sent a long list of questions as well. So if Jodie is going to write up a report, can she take note of all the speakers? I spoke to Anna King a while ago on this. If you definitely mention what they've said, what we've said, so I'd like you to add my comments in as well, which I did circulate, and I think that should be sufficient. But I would be a supporter of the hotel if they can show that there is a need. I don't have a problem, but I'm against the height of it. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Crook, one more point, and then we need to take this to the vote.
My concern is about where they want to build. They want to actually build a gate in front of the SODC toilets, and I'm just worried that will limit access for people, wheelchair users, because it doesn't state how wide that gate's going to be.
Yeah, we can get into that kind of detail if they put a planning application forward. Okay, so councillors, we've got a proposal from Councillor Hamilton, which Councillor Arlett is in favour of, is that the Henley Town Council planning officer puts together a paper summarising all of our views and circulates that to the planning committee for our review, and then submits it onto the Premiering group. Does that sound good? All those in favour? Yeah, okay, let's do that then. That's carried. Okay, thank you. Moving on then to the last item on the agenda, which is number 12, progress report for Cording applications. I think the only one we need to note there that we think the P20 S3 6604 253 Grays Road has gone to appeal. So we'll just make that amendment on the progress report. Okay.
Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. Councillor Hamilton, quickly.
Yeah, no, 52 to 54 Grays Road. I listened to the SODC tape on this, and I think it's important that we take some action on this. What one of the councillors, and they asked of the Henley Society as well, they asked what would we think is suitable for that site. We rejected 4, the design was appalling, and the agent's applicant got quite a hard time from Councillor Arlett. But it was very close, and it was actually went on the chairman's casting vote for refusal. But I think it's time that we actually come up with what we think is of beauty and what we think is suitable for that site, rather than just going round and round again.
Well, Councillor Hamilton, why don't they do like others do and come and talk to us? It's quite simple. Okay, if they're listening, why don't they get in touch? Okay, thank you, councillors.